Well, you didn't know things were going to turn around the way that they did, and that things were going to drag on as long as they did. That was your devotion and your faithfulness and loyalty blinding you from the life that you were supposed to be living now. And it went on and on and on and on. The person was never going to change. It didn't matter what you did or how much you look after them. Their attention was spread from the north to the south, the east and the west. There was nothing you could do to change that or help that. It caused a depletion in you, a emotional starvation in you, and you were never going to be able to overcome that. A lot of people just use people for their needs, for their supplies. You've got to understand that. Men and women. Not just men or women, men and women, depending on who you get caught up with and what they're about and where they're at in life. Too many people today have no comprehension of how to make themselves grow in a way in which it's going to benefit themselves and the other person that they're with. They're too selfish. That mountain in the far foreground, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try and zoom in. That one between the house and the trees right over there, that's called the Skillion at Terrigal on the New South Wales Central Coast. Believe it or not, that house there, isn't it funny how things work out? I went out with a woman for 7 or 8 years in that house there. Anyway, it's going back over 20 years. So your devotion and your faithfulness and loyalty, like people in a cult, blinded you from what you were supposed to be doing by way of resolve. And people that don't resolve anything just try and battle it out. They try and battle out the problems, they try and battle out the issues, and unfortunately this never works. It never works out the way that it should, because resolve needs to be applied for the aggravations and the disruptions and the concerns and the sadness to disappear. Without resolve, the problems just intensify. If somebody's seeing somebody else that you're with, even if they're speaking to them on the phone at an emotional, intimate level, and you're saying, hey, no, hang on a sec, that's not cricket, then they're out of order. And if they don't resolve it, right, and your psychological condition, your mental health starts to deteriorate because of that, then you've got every right to say, hang on a minute, I ain't doing this anymore. Detach, go through the breakup phases and resolve yourself. If you can't resolve the other person, then you have to at least resolve yourself. You come to yourself. You come back to yourself. And these skills and these arts of relationship are being lost. They're being lost by way of negligence. They're being lost by way of mental laziness. They're being lost by way of excuses, drugs and alcohol and other things that numb out the responses that we're getting from our conscience and our psyche to want to make change. We deplete these things out. We bury these things in a way in which we decide that there's no need for us to fix them, until all of a sudden there's a breakdown, there's mental health conditions, there's Physical illnesses start, problems start happening in the organs and the bowels, cancers and all this other things start happening in the flesh. The face changes, the countenance of the face changes from happy to sad, kind of like a sad countenance with half a smile. I'd probably suffer from that. And this will go on and on and on until you die, unless you decide, I can't resolve this relationship, but I can resolve myself. I can resolve myself, I can move away from this, and I can make a happy life for myself. I know men and women that have never recovered from the abuse of a person that hasn't functioned properly in a relationship. They've never recovered. They've ended up in mental homes, asylums, they've ended up needing carers, and all this contributes to the mental health numbers that are really overtaking our communities now. Because where there's no order, where there's no mental health, there's no resolve. Absolutely no result. No resolve in any aspect or respect, in any way whatsoever. So sicknesses grows, mental health grows, sadness grows, people break down. Some of these predators go from one person to the next, just destroying one group of people to the next. And it's deliberate, because they're just looking for supply, and when the supply runs out and they get exposed, then it's time to move on to the next person. And believe me, I had a lady come to me whose daughter was born a little child to a fella that let her down and let everyone else down. And she said he'll never have anybody else again. And I just agreed with her, but I agreed with her at the time because I didn't want to cause any more upset. But the fact of the matter was, yes, he will. These people know how to find supply, and they will, and they do. And a lot of people end up alone and sick and tired, and they don't want to do it anymore because they've been broken so badly. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the stress, the anguish. That's my bricklaying truck. So I'll cut this one a little bit short. But if you are in a situation where you know this person is not going to improve, they're not going to make the effort to genuinely provide a relationship that's going to be healthy for you and the people around you that you care about. It could be children and other family members. A lot of these people abuse the mothers and fathers of the partners. They've got no respect for anyone. Then you need to detach. You don't have to say anything, just start to psychologically detach, accept that this is a no-win situation. Slowly back off. They won't even notice 9 times out of 10. There'll be no resistance. And begin to rehabilitate yourself with boundaries, with purpose and with vision, and never go back.